Welcome to Drama Doc, where stories arrive and drama unloads. Let's begin. My fiancée cheated on me with my father, Part 3. It has been about a month since I caught my fiancée cheating with my father. And, honestly, things still feel unreal. Some days I wake up and forget about everything for a few seconds. Then, it all comes rushing back. The anger, the betrayal, the feeling that my entire life collapsed overnight. Emotionally, I feel like I am on a roller coaster. One moment I am completely numb, and the next I am filled with rage. I wish I could say I have had a happy moment since everything happened, but that would be a lie. Other than a few friends, I really do not have many people around me right now, especially after finding out what my own family was capable of. A lot has happened since my last update. It has been about a month, and I figured it was time to explain what has been going on. After my last post, I decided I needed to start taking care of the things that had been pushed aside during the chaos. The first thing I did was call my doctor. I told them I needed to get tested and asked for a referral to a therapist. I had my first therapy appointment about 2 weeks ago, and we decided to continue meeting once a week. I also went in for testing last week. The results will take a little longer to come back, so for now I'm just waiting and hoping for the best. Around the same time, I reached out to a friend of mine who works in real estate. I told him I needed to get out of my apartment as soon as possible. Being there was unbearable after what happened. He sent me a long list of places to look at. After going through them, I decided on a small refurbished cabin just outside the city. I finished moving in 2 days ago. The place is quiet. Almost too quiet sometimes. It sits on the edge of a wooded area, far enough away from the city that you can barely hear traffic. At night, it gets so silent that every small sound outside stands out. But honestly, the quiet has been good for me. When I finished moving everything in, I decided to call Elle's parents. I told them that I had moved out of the apartment and that Elle still had not picked up any of her belongings. I explained that the landlord would be showing the apartment soon, so someone needed to collect her things before they were thrown out. Apparently that message lit a fire under them. The very next day, my former landlord texted me and thanked me for getting the apartment cleared out. So, at least that situation has been handled. One of the reasons I chose this place was privacy. Right now, only the friend who helped me find the cabin knows where I live. That means Elle cannot show up here, and neither can my parents. The only downside is the commute. At my old apartment, work was about a 10-minute walk away. Now it is a 45-minute drive each way. But honestly, the distance is worth it. Over the past month, my phone has been blowing up with calls and messages. Elle has tried contacting me. My parents have tried contacting me. Even some of my friends have been reaching out. For now, I have ignored almost all of it. The only person I really talk to about any of this is my therapist. At work, I have mostly kept to myself. I show up, do my job, and leave. On the rare occasions when I have to interact with people, I just put on a fake smile and act like everything is fine. My boss has tried checking in on me more often since everything happened. She has been genuinely supportive, but even with her, I usually just say that I appreciate the concern and that I will be okay. The truth is, I do not know if I will be okay. People always say that time heals things, but that advice usually applies when you are dealing with one problem at a time. Not when you lose the 3 people you thought were closest to you in the same moment. My father, my fiancée, and in many ways, my mother too. Sometimes it feels like a huge part of who I was just died that day. The therapy sessions have been helpful though, at least I think they have. I have never done therapy before, so I do not really have anything to compare it to, but my therapist seems genuine and she actually listens. The first session was mostly just introductions. We talked about why I was there and what had happened. The second session went deeper. She asked about my relationship with my parents growing up. Before all of this, I would have described my childhood as great. My parents were supportive, we talked often, and we always tried to work through problems when they came up. Now all of that feels meaningless. She asked why I cut my mother out of my life after the confrontation. I told her that the things she said to me that day were things I would not say to someone I truly hated. Hearing those words from my own mother changed something in me. I told my therapist that I do not know if a relationship with my mother can ever go back to what it was. At the end of our last session, I actually gave her the link to my posts here. For some reason, writing everything out feels easier than saying it out loud. Sometimes typing the words helps me understand what I am feeling better than speaking does. So if you happen to be reading this, hello, Doc. For now, though, life is still pretty rough. I thought that by this point I would at least feel stable. Not necessarily happy, but maybe a little more normal. Instead, I mostly just feel exhausted. Part of that is probably my own fault. I know I should respond to my friends more often, but every time I think about replying to their messages, it just feels overwhelming. I know they mean well. I know they want to see me and check in, but the idea of socializing or explaining everything again just drains what little energy I have left. So for now, my routine is simple. I go to work, I go to therapy, and when I come home, I sit on the back deck of this cabin and stare out at the trees. Sometimes I pour myself a cheap glass of whiskey and just watch the sunset behind the woods. It is peaceful out here. Peaceful in a way that feels strange after everything that has happened. I have not gone hunting since high school, but being out here has made me think about picking it up again. There is enough land around the cabin that I could probably hunt right from the back porch. Maybe getting back into something I used to enjoy will help clear my head a little. For now, though, I am just taking things one day at a time and trying to figure out what the rest of my life is supposed to look like. Because after everything that happened, I honestly still have no idea what comes next. More drama is waiting. Check out one of these 2 videos next, and subscribe so you don't miss the next upload.